Hello everyone, my name is David Young. It's my final project. It's a long paper narrative titled On Beauty, Nature, Fragmentation, and Renewing the Human Condition. I chose to do a long paper because I'm an aspiring writer and I've found that my skills are better when it comes to writing and being an aspiring author much more than fine arts, which I'm less skilled in. My narrative consists of a personal anecdote, sort of a creative writing of my experience trekking in the wilderness and what I've experienced with nature embedded with hiking and trekking. Then an introduction on beauty and nature, and then there's going to be 4 sections that my narrative sort of breaks down into for the main body of the essay. So I want to read a paragraph of my anecdote, a paragraph of my introduction, and briefly summarize the 4 sections of the body of my essay. So, personal anecdote starts with: there are moments in the wilderness where time no longer feels measured but absorbed, where hours pass not into increments of a clock, but as a quiet unfolding of presence. I've spent entire days moving through unmarked terrain, hiking for 8 hours at a time without trails, guided only by instinct, landscape, and a kind of internal orientation that feels like thinking and less like thinking and more like remembering. In those moments, exhaustion becomes something entirely different. It strips away distraction, it silences the excess of needless worry in the modern complex world. What remains in my soul is the nature, and exhaustion is not emptiness, but clarity, a heightened awareness of breath, of sound, of a subtle shift in light as the sun moves across the sky, as I chase the light, not to a destination, but seeking to conquer the land, to restore the connection to the natural world that my distant Anglo-Saxon ancestors may have had. That's my personal anecdote. There's a few more paragraphs on that. And then my introduction states, at its core, this project explores the human understanding of beauty, once rooted in participatory, almost spiritual relationship with nature. It has gradually shifted towards fragmentation in the modern world. Drawing from Plotinus' vision of the One, from ancient times all the way up until through the Renaissance, common life is based with agricultural participation, traditional rituals, stern religious or nature-centered spirituality, and more living directly on land in which resources are grown, produced, and consumed. This idea of participation in the emanation of nature becomes a kind of baseline for understanding what is historically lost to the industrialization, technological progress, and modernization of our world. My introduction continues to explain contemporary thinkers like Emily Brady, Arnold Laurent, John Vervaeke, and others to sort of go along with my narrative. So section 1 of the main body of my essay is going to be the One, Nature, Spirit, and Divergence. On Plotinus, this section explores the philosophical foundations of beauty and unity through the thought of Plotinus, situating nature as an expression of a deeper metaphysical order. Beauty in this framework is not merely aesthetic, but reflective as the One, a unifying principle of underlying all existence. By tracing early philosophical understandings of nature and perception, this section establishes a baseline from which modern divergence from beauty and meaning can be understood. And section 2 in my narrative is going to be societal fragmentation from this One and natural connective experience. With the rise of modernity, industrialization, and technological mediation, the human relationship to nature undergoes a profound shift. Drawing from Rousseau, Berger, and others, this section examines how societal structures, consumer culture, and representational systems have fragmented the direct experience of nature. What was once participatory and immersive becomes distant, symbolic, and increasingly detached from lived reality and modernization. Section 3 is going to move on to perception, systems, and a loss of meaning. As perception shaped by systems of representation, meaning itself begins to erode. This section analyzes how modern frameworks, visual culture, ideology, and cognitive patterns reshape how beauty is interpreted and experienced. Through Berger, Kemp, and Vervaeke, it argues that the crisis is not only environmental or social, but perceptual, a loss of the ability to engage meaningfully with the world. And section 4 is going to be the renewal of beauty, consciousness, and human survival. Renewal emerges not through a return to the past, but through a transformation in awareness and engagement. Integrating Berlant's aesthetics and participation, Brady's emphasis on attention and imagination, and Vervaeke and Thich Nhat Hanh's insight on consciousness and presence, this section argues that beauty becomes accessible again through active, embodied experience. Reconnection to nature is framed not only as an aesthetic recovery, but as essential to the human meaning of long-term survival. And then I wanted to read my conclusion thesis, sort of I titled it An Inspirational Narrative with Collective Scholarly Insight. Across the philosophical and beauty of nature, environmental aesthetics, and modern historical thinkers, my scholarly insight is to show that beauty of nature is ultimately not a subject to be interpreted by academic standards and differing viewpoints, but beauty is an essence of reality within the relationship of nature to human nature that has been reshaped and reformed through history in relation to societal perception, media, advertisement, and social political viewpoints that have complexed the simplistic reality of nature as the beauty of emanation. Humankind as a participant within the natural world to restore the earth is to help restore humankind to its natural state of being, which sees itself as part of the natural world. But first, what is needed is a renewing of the meaning of purpose of humanity to the care of the earth and care of each other, to learn through participatory knowing and direct experience, to accept traditional and foreign belief systems as equal to our own, and to intellectually restore the damage done to the human conditions related to nature, beauty, and understanding of the meaning of life. And that's it for my presentation. Thank you everyone if you're watching, and good luck with everything. Bye.